I've had people asking me for a while now what I make a lot of my custom aquarium decor out of. And this is hydraulic cement. I use this stuff a lot. It's actually pretty great stuff. It has many uses. It just looks like kind of like a sand almost, but it's not. It's like a powdery mixture. And it's actually 100% waterproof. So once it's cured, it's basically going to be there for a long time. I made a giant tombstone for my Friday the 13th tank out of this stuff. And that was the biggest piece I had ever made out of hydraulic cement. Didn't have any issues, and it still looks amazing. So the biggest thing is what you're going to want to do with this stuff is it has a tendency, with any kind of decor you make out of it, it can raise your pH levels. So in cichlid tanks, not really a huge deal. But in like any kind of tanks where fish could be pH sensitive, you would really want to kind of be careful with it. What I do to avoid any issues with my fish is I'll make something out of it, whatever the decor is, and then I will soak it. Once it's completely cured, I'll soak it in a separate bucket or tank with water in it to leach out all the toxins, or not the toxins, but to leach out any of the chemicals that would come out of it in the first 2 weeks. And I would do that for basically 10 days, and then I'll change the water out in that bucket halfway through and then continue to soak it. And that way, that kind of eliminates any issues you would have with it being in your tank later on. You could basically do the same things. If you make something and you put it in your tank right away, you would want to have to do water changes with the fish in there, at least for the first 2 weeks. And after that, it'll balance out and it'll be good. But I don't want to mess with my fish as much as that would require. So, and plus, I don't really do water changes very often, if at all, if I don't need to. So I just take out that process. I don't want to do anything that's going to affect the fish. I just get it 100% ready to go before it hits the water. And I have made so much stuff out of this. I've made little tombstones for my Nightmare Before Christmas tank. I have made a giant tombstone for my Friday the 13th tank. I've made wall backgrounds, anything. You can make so much stuff out of this stuff. And the biggest thing is the amount of water that you're using. Like, if you're going to attempt it, use a little bit first and get it to whatever consistency you want, because I can thin it out completely and use it as paint. And I've actually painted backgrounds with it, and it gives this nice stone appearance. Or you can use very little water and turn it into a dough, or you can pretty much anything in between there. So, but the biggest thing is you're going to want to remember is it's hydraulic cement, so it's quick hardening. So whatever it is you're going to make, you're going to want to have a plan going in, because this stuff gives you, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes. You'll feel it start to heat up when you're using it. It gets warm to the touch, and that's just the hardening, the chemical reaction from the hardeners in it that cause that to happen. But it's not going to hurt anything. It's not bad for you. I mean, I've used with gloves. I've used it without gloves. Never had an issue. Just wash your hands really well afterwards. But what you can do is once it starts to harden, what I've done and learned to do is I'll keep an extra thing of water, like another cup of water with me, that I can just keep pouring water into the mixture, or on whatever the piece that I'm working on, I can keep wetting it down, and that buys you extra time. That buys you time for it not to go completely hard on you, because if it does, you're just done. You're not going to be able to do much with it at that point, and if you do force it, you'll just crack it. It'll just start to break apart, and you won't have anything. So, but yeah, I'm going to be making something new tonight for my newest tank. I'm going to make a little treasure chest basically out of this stuff to act as a feeding bowl for a frog tank that I'm getting ready to do. So we'll see how that works out. But what I'll do is I'll definitely be doing more of these videos for people. I've had a lot of people asking me, what it is that I use, and this stuff is available at Lowe's. I think this size is 15 or 16 bucks, and you can do a lot. I've made so much decor out of this stuff, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I definitely recommend anybody try it. The biggest thing is what you're going to want to do is, like I said, whatever it's done before you put it into the tank, make sure you soak it really well, just to help, ease it on your fish. You don't really want to I don't want to disrupt them any more than I already have to or do as it is. So, but other than that, there's nothing really wrong with this stuff. It's pretty great stuff. So, all right, hope that helps. Thanks.